taking up, oh, what is it? Like it's taking up wetlands? No, it's not
No,
wetlands.
it's
nothing-
a small non-jurisdictional wetland. I just made note that it was there.
Siltation.
And the EAF, when the
Huh?
EAF describes, they have just a one-shot box and a yes and a no. So the points that I pulled out were yeses, but the impacts, that doesn't tell you a qualitative impact or a quantitative impact,
Am I missing? Is there a diagram showing where on the parcels the array will be?
Yes, there is. I wish I could share my screen, but let me find the page it's on. In the construction documents, it's going to take me a sec because there's a lot of pictures. Uh-oh, my computer's being slow.
So while you're looking at that, it's the locally important habitat that I'm concerned about, because recently we've been we've been embroiled in this monarch butterfly was almost listed. It hasn't been listed yet. And it may impact our mowing operations on county roads, and they're impacting 10 acres of habitat. So I just wanted to point that out.
Let's see. We almost got this. Come on. Layout.
And are you guys familiar where this is? I don't see how it's not possible to see it from Route 22.
Yeah, the photographs or the simulations show that you can see it in certain places for sure.
I know, town members have reached out, town board members have reached out to me and would like that comment put on that they are concerned of the reflective glare in the area. They'd like us to note that.
Well, could you say that again, Cassie? Because you're a little muted to my ear. Let me turn up my volume.
A town board member has reached out to me and asked that we comment on that there is still concern by the board that there's going to be a glare issue, and they want to make sure that it's completely followed up with. There's a lot of concern about that at the town board level.
Okay. So the layout and materials plan is, which construction document is it? No, it's not. It's C30. So if you have the document open, it's called Layout and Materials Plan. And it shows the layout of the array. And simulations are also really helpful to get an understanding of how you would see it. We're concerned about glare and be in evaluation.
I don't know, who does these glare evaluations? Are they nonpartisan people, not associated with? Like, I don't understand who does a glare study. Is it a business that does something like that?
I don't know the answer.
I believe it's just a software analysis. The GIS that they use.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess what I was looking for here was, are they intending to, it looks like by the way the array is laid out that they're not going to farm this anymore. Is that, do you know if that's the plan?
They didn't say that in the application one way or the other, but it looks like it will be hard to farm with the solar because it's filling up. Although they said just 18% of the property, but
It looks like way more than 18%.
it looks more, right?
Yeah. And there's very few areas that are prime soil, but it's going to be on those areas just for future.
So does a town have to have a law or whatever if they don't want to use agricultural land for certain purposes. And it's not in an agriculture district, so that doesn't matter.
Right.
The way that it goes is that the land use tool to do site plan analysis or the required subdivision regulation can help with how the project is situated on a site and how you might screen it, how you might control the way it looks on a property, namely. Really, the real tool is not a popular word, and that's zoning. That gives a municipality the input into where projects can go, what zones things can go. And then with the large scale, the large scale projects, with the accelerated siting law that was put into effect in April 2020, it gives the state some power to place things in municipalities. So I don't know, Allison, if you know more about how that relationship goes and how much power, even if you have zoning, there is.
Yeah, I really don't with that. That's kind of an area I'm lacking. I do know more about it with if it's in an ag district, which this isn't, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe Roger.
It is definitely something we should look into.
Roger, are you there? This is what happens when we attend meetings. I apologize. I can't share screen. My service is barely holding up just a black screen this morning. It keeps telling me it's going to drop.
One thing that's happening this week that we've arranged, the town of Cambridge has arranged to have like a Q&A with local government training with Chris Eastman and Trish, one of his partners there. And it's going to be an opportunity because, Cassie, you must know about this. Where'd she go?
It's April 1st. I know that. It's at 7:30. It was all arranged and organized by Pamela.
Yeah, 7:30
Yeah,
on Thursday. And at this point, it's going to be town board and planning board of the town of Cambridge only. And it's somewhat of also a trial run to see, how helpful it is and what people are thinking and what they need to know about large scale solar or about creating local law around solar. So the idea is that then we'll expand that to invite other communities. I think Chris says he'll do up to 2 more. And we could cluster, like we're thinking like Easton and Jackson, and then maybe like Kingsbury, Whitehall, Granville, or something. I don't know. We'll have to figure out where. I mean, those are places where we're seeing more solar pop up. Fort Edward.
What is this?
This is a like a Q&A. So it's a little different than the local government training where they have a PowerPoint and they go through like an already structured program. This is where we're actually fielding questions, and it's more of a conversation and an educational opportunity for the town to be able to inform decisions around solar and making laws around solar.
All right.
This is something that I encourage municipalities to do, because especially the Office of Renewable Energy and all that. There's a bit to understand.
I
I
was
don't think we have much choice except for local concern, right?
Is there some special consideration for stormwater runoff, since that did come up in the EAF? I looked up the elk hill, and it's not been assessed. So it's unclear if it's impacted by sediment, but it is in the larger upper Hudson River Basin, which is impacted by sediment. So that would be my suggestion for a comment.
So have they looked at the wetland on there and where it actually drains? Is that the?
More like since it comes up on the EAF as it could indicate a large impact for erosion and runoff.
Mhm.
Look at some additional considerations for stormwater and erosion.
Okay. Additional considerations for stormwater. So what I think I'll do is when I write the letter to the town, I might circulate it to this committee to make sure that I've covered the points that we intend to cover, the comments, and before sending it out. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yep. So there'll be, what is the motion?
Reluctantly local concern. Is that an
Is that
option?
Debbie? I don't know. Did Roger come back on yet? Is there an urgency in this that we could wait and have Roger answer our question, or does it need to be done right away, Pamela?
I'm here. What's your question? I must have missed
What
it.
was the question? The question you had for Roger before, Pamela?
Oh,
Here now.
the question is the extent under ORS that the right of the state to override if a community did have zoning
Not our,
for solar array for large scale.
actually, everything past the first matter of local concern statement is none of our damn business. Pardon the expletive, but all this great discussion is not, we're here to talk about county impacts. We're not here to talk about all the rest of this great stuff.
Right.
You know, how does it impact the transportation? How does it, those are all local issues, or they've been usurped by the state, in which case they're not our issues in any event. So really none of this is a matter of county concern, unfortunately. I mean, you said it, you said the dreaded Z word. If you want, if localities want to deal with that, they have to use that word. If not, then we're going to be seeing a lot of these projects, and the state has already evinced an intent to exclusively occupy that space in terms of the regulations. So even using the dreaded word, it doesn't necessarily give you the kind of power that you might have had, say, 20 years ago with that word, especially the larger the facility. And I think when somebody asked, what is the difference between community and regular? I think communities, that's a term that's used as a key word for the state in terms of what they're going to look at. And it has a lot to do with the size. So we're getting kind of into policy issues that aren't really the purview of this this organization. It's a very limited jurisdiction, our planning agency. We chose not to get into, say, countywide planning and countywide zoning for the specific reason. If we had, then we'd be having all kinds of other discussions. If there was a countywide land use plan or a countywide zoning plan, we'd be diving a lot deeper into things. But this committee doesn't really have the jurisdiction, or organization, it's not a committee, the jurisdiction to delve deeply into a lot of these issues, because the board's chosen not to give it to us or to you.
All right, thanks for setting us straight.
Yep. It makes us feel like later on, somebody's gonna come back at us and say, well, why didn't we question it or stop it? But you're saying we don't have any right to anyway.
I'm
so-
saying you don't have the authority to do that, right? The
That's
board didn't
frustrating.
choose to give that to you.
So it can be held blameless when it goes bad. Oh my God. You are not helpful. You just dropped me out of my meeting. Ugh.
All right, matter of local concern.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Not very well.
Because it just told me I got dropped, but apparently I'm still. All right. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
Okay, the third review is a site plan review for the town of Kingsbury for 71 Gear Road. And it's a small hobby farm that wants to run a commercial goat yoga establishment. And it's in a residential agricultural district. This one, I believe, I would suggest is matter of essentially local concern. And without any need for comment.
Yeah.
Well, I think this one's great. I'm going to sign Hanky up for it.
I was thinking about trying it, but I want some cow cuddling too.
I never heard of that yet.
Yeah, people
So-
pay some big bucks for that.
I need the information on that one. A side business.
I think I've got way too much information on any of that stuff.
So local concern.
Okay, do I have a second? Allison?
Yep.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So the next two, or am I waiting for Cassie to say move?
No, go ahead.
Okay, the next are the just APA public notices for conditionally approved project and permit issued, both of them. One is for a major subdivision and pilot knob, taking a large group of parcels, 535 acres, to create four other lots. It's near Pilot Knob Mountain. And the other one is just some work, the installation in Putnam County on State Route 22, installation of some cutoff walls and stone aprons at the outlet inlet of an existing culvert. And there is some wetland loss to this project. And then if we're ready to move along, I just had a couple other thoughts, other business thoughts.
Yep, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, it was brought up in between meetings that it might be nice to place this meeting as a regular occurring meeting on the calendar at 9 a.m. before the Public Works meeting. Does everybody think that's a nice idea?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the planning agency is supposed to maintain a certain nimbleness or something, so that if a municipality has some urgency to have their project looked at, that will hold a meeting on their behalf. But so far that really doesn't come up very much. So, and
So-
then
Instead of the, state mandated, 60 or not, was it 60, 30 days, it tried to accommodate some of the needs for the community if something were to come up.
mhm,
We'd have a special meeting, I suppose, if that happens.
if it should happen, right?
Yep. Sounds good.
And then we discussed keeping track of these large scale solar projects. And so Heather is now working on mapping all the projects she can find, past, present, future. In fact, we'll probably shade them so that we can see them clearly and their pattern on the land. And she says she's almost done with it. So that's pretty exciting. And then I have created a dedicated page for solar related information on the planning website. There's a tab that says solar. If I could share my screen, I'd show it to you, but it's going to cover NYSERDA, ORS, New York Sun, and then any other important information, easy links to the guidebook, the New York State guidebook, which covers everything under the sun, are like decommissioning, which is often a big question for municipalities and et cetera. So protecting farmland and that sort of thing.
Pamela, there's a message in the chat room that says you can share.
Oh, I can? Oh, I can. Oh, I can now share. Look at that.
It's like Christmas.
So anyway, just for now that I'm done, I'll just, for the sake of giggles, there it is, starting to shape up. So
Great.
there we
Great.
go. So that's it.
Hey, anybody else have anything for the meeting today? Okay, then I guess unless Pamela tells us, we'll meet again before, the next meeting will be right before DPW on, I don't remember the date, do you, Debbie? We'll just know it's right before DPW on a Tuesday morning in 4 weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks. See you
Okay.
guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
How do I get off here?